Now, this hymn is probably new to you, so you might want to use the music, which is on page 51 in your gray hymnal, Lady of the Season's Laughter. It's perfect for today. Here we go. Lady of the season's laughter, in the summer's warmth be near. When the winter follows after, teach our spirits not to fear. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning year. Sisters of the evening starlight, in the sullen shadows stay, here among us till the firelight of tomorrow's dawning ray. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning day. Mother of the generations, in the fall of life is birth, everlasting celebrations, in thy labor safe to birth. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning earth. Goddess of all time's progressions, stand with us when we engage, hands and hearts to end oppression, writing history's very page. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning age. And this next one is also one you might not know. It is in your teal hymnal. It is number 1067. Celebrating the directions, celebrating the goddess. Mother Earth, beloved garden, loving treasure underfoot. Fallow days you ground our being, sage and thistle, grass and root. Hips to heal us, plants to feed us, land to till and tend and plow. With the pendant deep as midnight, if we ask you be here now. The fear your inspiration, hold together all that lives. As we breathe, our minds see clearly, leading us to love and give. Raging whirlwinds whisper breezes, violent gale and gentle cloud. With the blade as sharp as morning, east we ask you be here now. Brother fire, great transformer, share the passion of the sun. In our hearts you warm revive us, our food and heats our homes. Flaming candle, but within us blazing desert will to grow. With the one directing power, south we ask you be here now. Sister water ever flowing, ocean, river, pond and rain, drink we now and quench our thirsting, cleanse as we begin again. Mist and ice, a host of changes, all that courage will allow. With the cup, the holy chalice, souls. West, we ask you, be here now. Lover, spirit, intuition, in the center of our souls. In the love we find relation, all connected we are whole. Timeless mystery, quiet conscious, deepest value, voice inside. With the drum and with the cauldron, this we ask you, be our God. Nice. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to the Namakwa Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are glad you are here. My name is Debbie Gentry, and I'm your worship associate today. This is a Come As You Are congregation, and you are welcome here just as you are. I want to extend a special welcome to any visitors. We would love to stay connected, so please sign up for our communications at the main entrance back there. Here at Namakwa UU, we foster a beloved community that celebrates diversity, strives for peace and justice, acts mindfully for the good of the planet, and inspires spiritual growth through a free and loving search for truth and meaning. We honor the ground we walk upon and acknowledge this land as the traditional and ancestral homeland of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. We recognize and honor the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and vow to reconcile the deep wounds that still shape our world today. Well, we have many activities, wonderful activities and events coming up, so please read through them on the back side of your order of service. And here are a few highlights. We've got a hearing system. We have a new hearing assistant system for anyone to use. We have 7 units, small receivers, and earphones. You can check out a set, again, back there at the entrance if you need them. This is a loaded question. Are you interested in the congregation's finances? Join us for a discussion today after the service in the sanctuary. Be sure to grab your refreshments and join us. The board has prepared a proposed budget for 25-26, along with financial projections for the next 5 years. Next Sunday, we'll have a very special service celebrating our children with a child dedication ceremony honoring our youth as they share their credo statements, showering all of our volunteers with gratitude and that make a difference in our lives. Reverend Dana and Janet Wright, our Director of Religious Education, will lead the service. It will also be the final Sunday the choir performs under the direction of our beloved music director, Ryan Marvel. And after the service next Sunday, we are calling all members to join us for our spring congregational meeting. We will vote in new leaders for positions on the board, Leadership Development Committee, and Committee on Shared Ministry. Reports will be shared offering a look at our work over the past year, and the finance team will present the proposed budget for fiscal year 25-26, which will then be put to a congregational vote. It is with great sadness that our beloved music director, Ryan Marvel, will be leaving us in June. We want to shower him with our gratitude. Shower, right? So if you'd like to contribute to the gift fund for Ryan, please drop a donation in the box at the entrance or donate online. Be sure to use the drop-down menu and choose Ryan Marvel Gift Fund for your donations. We would love to visit with you during coffee hour after the service today in the building right behind this one. And we really thank all of our volunteers for helping with the service today. We couldn't do it without all of y'all.
Thank you, Debbie. And happy Mother's Day, everyone. I should say happy Mothering Day, everyone, because every single parent is a mother at some point. And we all do plenty of nurturing and mothering, do we not? Yeah. So I have a reading for you, Honoring Our Mothers by Gary Kowalski. Gracious Mother, matrix of creation, womb of mystery, we thank you on this day for the miracle of birth, for the holiness of sex, for the power of eros and passionate love, to regenerate the world. Mother Nature, Earth Mother, we lift our hearts in song for all forms, green and fragrant, glad with the hymn of resurrection, the rhythms of rebirth. Ancient Mother, Grandmother Spirit, we share your travail and feel the anguish of mothering, the hard work of those who labor, the pain of those who struggle with fertility, the wounds of those victimized by sex, the grief of women separated from their children. Healing Mother, midwife of change, enable us to partake of your promise, to bring forth the blade from the waiting soil, to bring community out of chaos, to turn tears into rejoicing, through service to you, endless source of life, cradled in your arms, nourished by your goodness, enfolded within your beauty, great goddess in whom we live and we move. As we celebrate the great goddess today and the divine feminine, I invite you to join with me in saying our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this congregation and service its call. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And I invite you now to share that spirit of love by turning and greeting all of those around you. Invite us to rise. And celebrating the birth of every child. Remembering who we are in the birth of every child. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreaming. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're of truth and now is the time I get to tell a story to anyone who considers themselves a child. If you think you're a child, I hope you'll come sit with me up here. I have a story. Oh, thank you. So good to see you. You look beautiful today. Good morning, good morning. So good to see you. How are you doing? Good. Good to see you. Come on up, everybody. Good. I'm so glad to see you. I have a question for you. Oh, good. You can look over my shoulder. Of course. Do you ever get into arguments with somebody who thinks that they are right and they have the right answers? George, I bet that happens to Hey, George, I bet that happens to you sometimes.
It just happened to me.
It just happened to you?
He kept grabbing my arm and pinching it, and he didn't stop.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so I think we all know what it's like to think that somebody else thinks they have the right answer and they won't listen to our perspective. Anybody have that experience? Just checking. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Yeah, that happens to you too, Randall. Yep. Well, here's a story about that. And this story is apparently told by a wise woman named Minerva, which is a mixture of Athena and Minerva. Sorry. Okay. So Minerva, she would travel from town to town all over her country, and she'd spend a few days, maybe a week in each town. And people came to her with all of her difficult problems or arguments they were having. Anybody ever come to you with their problems and talk it over? Yeah, I would talk to you too. Yeah. And she would help them find their way towards satisfying answers. And one day, when she entered one of the towns on her route, Minerva heard a lot of arguing. Everybody argue, just argue. A lot of arguing. Yeah, arguing. And she looked up and saw a group of people in a very heated discussion. And one person called out, "Minerva, come here. We need your wisdom." Minerva approached the group, and the person who had called her said, "I've been telling people who God is, and they keep telling me I'm wrong. I'm worried about them. Help them see what's right." "Help them see what's right, Minerva." "Well," said Minerva, "what have you told them?" "I told them that there is one true God who loves and cares for us, hears our prayers, and commands us to love one another." And Minerva said, "You are correct." "What?" said the others. "No, that can't be right." Then one of them said, "I believe there's a God, all right, a God who created the universe, established the laws governing it, set it going, and left. God has no interest in our affairs of humanity. It's all up to us to make this world the place we want it to be." And Minerva said, "You are correct." And then a third person said, "I believe there are many gods and goddesses, and they are part of my worship of all of nature and the cycle of life." And Minerva said, "You are correct." "I'm not at all sure there is a God," said a fourth person. "I see a divine spark in everything and everybody, but maybe that's just part of human consciousness." And Minerva said, "You are correct." "Well, I don't believe there's a God at all," said the last person in the group, "but I am truly awestruck when I think about the mystery of creation of our universe and how we came to be." Are you awestruck by that too? The beauty of our universe? Anybody? And how we came to be. "I believe it's my responsibility to leave my corner of the world better than I found it." And Minerva said, "You are correct." And at this point, everyone was confused. "But how," they said, "can we all be correct when we have different ideas of what God is or isn't?" "Yes, You all have different visions, but each of those visions can lead you to love and care for each other. And this is a wonderful part of creation we call Earth. And this is the correct vision, however you choose to label it. And as Athnerva left, the people in the group agreed that they didn't need to argue about who was right. They needed to work together to make the world they wanted. So, may we work together to make the world that we want. Amen. Okay, sound like a plan? Good. Well, happy Mother's Day. We're going to sing you to class now, okay? Okay. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Okay.
May it be so. You know, this microphone, I don't like microphones. Just saying, I just don't like them. Maybe because I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas in the 50s. Anyway, I did. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas in the 1950s. And I was taught, like so many girls, that a woman's place was in the kitchen. And if power had a voice, it sure didn't sound like mine. Back then, divine and feminine were those words rarely appeared in the same sentence, unless you maybe were describing your mother's buttery pie crust, maybe. Yeah. And yet, 70 years later, here I stand, proudly participating in a Unitarian service on the divine feminine. Poof, I've come a long way. A long way. And all of us women here have come a long way. It doesn't matter where you were born, when you were born. We have come a long way. And I believe, girls, we are just getting started. So I've got some encouraging words written by the divinely feminine author, Mirabai Starr, from her introduction to the book Wild Mercy. There is a secret fiesta going on in a wild wood, and you are invited. This party has been unfolding for millennia. Its hosts are women mystics from all branches of the soul family: Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and every indigenous wisdom way. Its guests include anyone whose heart has ever yearned for union with the beloved and the alleviation of suffering for all sentient beings, and that means you. The gathering is secret, simply because, historically, for wise women to gather openly has been to risk death. It's not that they have been afraid to die, but rather they have known in every muscle fiber that they must protect themselves because their knowledge is needed. Their love and clarity and beauty are profoundly, urgently needed. And so they have gone about in disguise, sprinkling party invitations in the public square, waiting to receive us when we come. They wait patiently, and they are excited. So come, feast on the mercy of Kuan Yin and the compassion of Tara, the brilliance of Sophia and the shelter of the Shekinah. Break the bread of courageous prophet Mother Mary and dip it in the spicy oils of Holy Daughter Fatima. Drink yourself into a swoon with the songs of the ecstatic Bhakti poet Mirabai, and then sober up with the rigorous brilliance of St. Teresa of Avila. Dance your ass off with the fierce goddess Kali and her majestic sister Durga. Roll down into the boundless valley of the Tao. Take refuge in the jewels of the Buddha as woman and the Dharma as taught by women, in the Sangha that gathers together a circle of wild and welcoming women. You don't have to be female yourself to walk through these gates. Men are welcome here. You just don't get to boss us around, grab our breast, or solve our problems. You may sample our cooking and wash it down with some of our champagne. You may ask us to dance, and you may not pout if we decline. You may study our text, ponder our most provocative questions. You may fall in our laps and weep if you feel the urge. We will soothe you, as we always do. And then we will send you back to the city with your pockets full of seeds to plant in the middle of it all. The secret is out. The celebration is overflowing its banks. The joy is becoming too great to contain. The pain has grown too urgent to ignore. The earth is cracking open, and the women are rising from our hiding places and spilling onto the streets, lifting the suffering into our arms, demanding justice from the tyrants, pushing on the patriarchy and activating a paradigm shift such as the world has never seen. Now, I'm going to get over to the chalice. No. Help! I can't light the chalice. So, as we figure out how to light the chalice this morning, us divine women, thank you. Today, as I light the chalice, I honor the radiant lineage of all divinely feminine women. Those women who have gone before us, those women who are rising now, and those women who have yet to come.
Isn't that a great reading? Thank you so much, Dave.
You bet.
So each week, as we take our morning offering, we remember that half of everything we donate goes to a nonprofit, a local nonprofit of our choice. And for the months of May and June, our half-plate recipient is the Loveland Community Kitchen, which many of us have been involved with in helping to serve meals there. How many of you have done this? Yeah, see? Whoa. Awesome. Thank you all for your volunteering. They provide food for people who are hungry, conversation for people who are lonely, rest for people who are struggling, and a voice for people in need. The Community Kitchen believes everyone deserves access to food. So please give generously, and thank you for supporting this important group. beautiful piece of music was a collaboration with Ryan and his mother, who is a poet and wrote a beautiful piece of poetry that Ryan then created music to go with it. Thank you for sharing that. And today, as we celebrate mothers, Mother's Day is always a tricky one, you know, because it's not just a celebration. There's also a lot of grief, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of memories for people that are wonderful memories, and maybe you're missing your mother, or maybe you're missing your child. There are so many complicated feelings that come up around Mother's Day. So today, we're celebrating the great goddess, the great divine feminine that resides within each and every one of us. So, as we share our joys and concerns and our sorrows, our heartbreaks, I invite you to name a goddess that comes to mind. And if you think to, you can name a quality of that goddess as well. So, does that make sense? I don't know how well versed you are on goddesses, but I'll bet you know a few. So, anybody want to begin? Okay, oh, good. Over here and then over here.
Hello, my name's Andrew. A sorrow that I have is a friend of mine, really good friend of mine, Mallory, is moving away, it's kind of a joy and a sorrow. I'm excited for her to, move on to this next chapter in her life, but I'm sad to see her go. And goddess, I would have to say my mom actually has a tattoo of the Celtic goddess Cara Dwyn on her ankle, which is the, Celtic goddess of fertility and rebirth and just springtime, so it's kind of very fitting.
Yeah,
Awesome.
perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And we hold you and your friend in our hearts. And Kathy and then Leo.
My name is Kathy, and I just got back from a trip to Albuquerque to see my mother-in-law, 96 years old, full of dementia, but also full of fun. And it just made me think of all the people who are caregivers. I dropped in for 3 days and spent a bunch of time with her, and we had a really good time. Her daughter and son-in-law take care of her all the time. She had to move in with them for a while, and I just think those who are there with the person that needs the care are just such special people, and I know all of you have done that at one time or another, or we will be called upon to do that, so bunch of goddesses right in view here.
Yes. Thank you, Kathy. And we hold you and your mother-in-law in our hearts. While Kathy was speaking, a pin dropped. Is it yours? Okay, good. It's beautiful. Everyone has to see this amazing pin that Kathy has. Okay, Leo.
So this is very appropriate because it's Mother's Day, and I was attacked by a mother yesterday. But the whole story is like this. First of all, the goddess is Athena.
Athena, yeah.
Athena,
okay.
the goddess of wisdom. Mm-hmm. And I could have learned from her. I was at River's Edge biking, and all of a sudden, there is a mother goose with the goslings. And she was right next to the bed with 6 babies. What do? I stopped, I thought for a while. And then I said, well, there is no other way around. So I'll just go slowly with my bike. And before I knew it, this mother went after me, flying right above. I looked back and I had to pedal so fast. Anyhow, that's how powerful mothers can be. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Beautiful. The fierceness of mothers, indeed. Others?
hear for you.
Okay.
This last weekend, I wish that I had come sooner to tell you guys about it more, but I had a big performance that I choreographed 20 pieces in the Loveland Choral Society, and this is the first, this is the first big performance that I've done since motherhood. So it was really exciting. I had a lot of wishes that I wanted for the group to challenge them, but also to make it fun, and I had a lot of positive feedback telling me that I achieved that goal, and that was really exciting. And then Everett, my littlest one, who's a very opinionated, I think he was a crotchety house cat in his former life. So he's only affectionate when he wants to be, and not very forthcoming with positive feedback. But he said to me, Mommy, he came up to me last time I saw him dancing in the front row. They just loved it. He comes at me after and he goes, Mommy, you were amazing. And that last song, my mind just exploded. Aww. And he would tell that story to anybody who asked him. He would tell him how his mind exploded at the end. And then Ocean, I don't know if he's here today, Ocean came and saw, and another friend of mine, and they're these beautiful little children who come and give me hugs, and it makes me feel so good. And Everett was like, oh, she's my mommy. She's my mommy. And it was really a touching moment as I've been grieving the loss of the babyhood and having to be like, okay, how am I going to spend the rest of my energy? And so it was a lovely first coalescing of that. In this new phase of motherhood. So thank you.
Congratulations. Wow, that's fantastic. Wow, what a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
So following up on Katrina, I think the goddess, there are the muses of poetry and music and so forth that give us a lot of joy, and it gave me a lot of joy that I was actually at one of Katrina's performances. And I have to say, it really was wonderful. And the song was from Sondheim's Company. If you haven't heard it, you should look it up. It's Getting Married Today, also known as Not Getting Married Today. Katrina's part was a soaring high solo about husband joined to wife, pinnacle of life, except the next verse was tragedy of life, husband joined to wife. So there's always that ambivalence that Dana talked about, and it was just transporting. It was, for me, a showstopper.
Wow. Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you. Katrina, next time you have to let us know ahead of time. Okay. We want to support you. Well, let us take just a moment, my friends, to turn inward, holding the joys and concerns of all of life. I know that I have been heartbroken by all the damage and harm that is coming to our world through our government right now, and I know you share that. Children are being harmed and are dying from lack of support. People are being deported, whether they need to be or not, whether they should be. Nobody should be deported. And we hold that heartbreak in our hearts. And this is the energy of Kuan Yin, the goddess of Kuan Yin, the one who hears our tears and holds us with love. And we feel the fury, much like that mother goose. The anger, the frustration, the fierceness of Kali, the goddess Kali from the Hindu tradition, and the mother goddess Durga riding on her tiger, ready to take on those who are causing harm. And may we be like Isis, bringing the broken pieces back together, mending and healing and renewing life to the earth and to all we love. May the goddesses be with us, within us, as we are of them. May it be so. Amen. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I hear your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Well, today, on this Mother's Day, as we consider the divine feminine that is within each of us and every one of us, you might be asking, why are we talking about goddesses? Well, just look around you. You're surrounded by goddesses, in case you hadn't noticed. No matter the gender, you are still surrounded by goddesses. We all have the divine feminine within us and the divine masculine. We have two arms and hands. One is probably dominant, but it doesn't mean the other hand isn't just as important. And yet we have forgotten this in our culture, have we not? So it is time for the goddess to rise. The god Shiva from the Hindu tradition, the divine masculine, he is the consciousness of the universe. But nothing happens without Shakti, the divine feminine. She is the energy of the universe, the whole energy of the universe. Can you feel the energy running through your body right now? That would be the energy of Shakti animating you. She can be fierce and destructive, as she is embodied by Kali, an expression of Shakti. But she can also be the goddess of pure love and devotion in the form of Parvati. And the goddess Durga that I mentioned earlier is riding on her tiger, and she is the warrior and the mother protector. It is Kali who kills Lord Shiva and then brings him back to life again. It is Kali who has the power. The gods are powerless without Shakti in whatever form she arises, this divine feminine. And the whole idea is to keep both balanced within oneself and in the culture to honor and celebrate the power of the divine feminine. The divine feminine, the power of the goddess, has been minimized, dismissed, squashed, brutalized, smothered, and burned at the stake for centuries. Western culture's toxic patriarchy has flourished since the fall of the Roman Empire, but especially since 1492. We sometimes call this white supremacy culture, but I think you all know what we're talking about, this patriarchy that has flourished. It has taught women that they are weak, incapable, less than, unintelligent, dependent upon women, dependent upon men, interesting slip, and controlled by men. Now, I'm guessing that many of us, I know I grew up under this perspective. It was not as bad as what it would have been 50 years earlier, 20 years earlier. But it was still a part of my growing up, as Debbie also mentioned. So I know you know this experience, and so we're still working to overcome this. But this nonsense has been falling away a bit by bit. Interesting thing that the women's suffrage movement back in the mid-1800s helped it pick up steam, and then again in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, 1960s, 70s, and 80s, with the women's lib movement. So life is very different for women now than it was 50 years ago, 60 years ago. But it is still out of balance, and there is the attempt to take us back to the toxic ways right now. But you know what? The goddess is not going back. The divine feminine is out, and it is never going back. In the mid-1800s, leaders of the women's suffrage movement managed to observe the Iroquois and their traditions of governance with the women, especially the grandmothers, being in charge. They observed that women's voices were heard in political decisions, ensuring that their concerns and interests were that they were a big part of it and were considered. Women also held the power to select and remove chiefs. Let's do it. Let's get on with it already. And they could also veto any decision to go to war. In the Iroquois community, women were the keepers of the culture. They were responsible for defining the political, social, spiritual, and economic norms of the tribe. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, one of the most important leaders in the suffragette movement, marveled that, quote, "The women were the great power of the clan, and the original nomination of the chiefs also rested with the women." Matilda Joslyn Gage, Stanton's equally brilliant contemporary, described the government structure in more detail. Division of power between the sexes in this Indian republic was nearly equal. Although the principal chief of the Confederacy was a man, descent ran through the female line, and the sister of the chief possessed the power of nominating his successor. Can you imagine what a revelation this was for them? I mean, I think we're talking like 1848. Women were considered possessions, you know? Anyhow, Stanton and Gage and others came to believe that every existing institution in Western civilization, every institution, family, capitalism, church, and state, rested on the oppression of women. I would say back then it did. And each would have to be destroyed in their existing form for women to be free. They knew these institutions were neither inherent or natural, for they had seen an alternative in action. The illusion of what they had been told all their lives was broken. And like I said, we are in the middle of a struggle to reinforce and bring back the patriarchal ways, the toxic patriarchal ways. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I think we can hang on and make a change and bring the divine feminine back to the world in a way that is flourishing already. It's happening already. You can't go back. The Iroquois show us that it's possible for this to become a different form of government. And tens of thousands of years before Christianity, our ancestors across the world, maybe hundreds of thousands of years before, they're trying to understand life, the most precious thing, this life. And it was clear that life came from and through women. So is it any wonder that many cultures created myths with goddesses, creation myths with goddesses? These goddesses, goddesses are a reflection of aspects of ourselves. I know some of you may be like, yeah, you know that story you told earlier about I don't believe in a God? That's me. I don't believe in a goddess either. That's okay. I'm not here to try to convince you to believe in something. You don't have to believe in anything. Goddesses are the human imagination at play, trying to make sense of reality. And goddesses are a reflection of us, back to us. Goddesses are myths. You don't have to believe in them to learn their deeper truths. They are the embodiment of certain qualities and are expressions of hope, dreams, and wishes. And just like us, goddesses have faults, challenges, and growing edges. They too know heartbreak, even grief that never leaves. We carry these things deep within, and so does the goddess. You are not alone. Goddesses teach us wisdom. No matter your gender, they invite us to embody our own divine feminine nature. I was at a retreat once, a Sufi retreat that I like to go on, and one of our teachers was wanting us to embody the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now, I mentioned Shakti and Shiva from the Hindu pantheon, but they have so many gods. I think they have like 6 million gods. I'm not exaggerating. It's crazy. But they have so many gods and goddesses that pair up to demonstrate, to embody this divine feminine and this divine masculine. And so he had us all walking around. So Rama Rama is one of the divine gods. And so we're all walking around going, Ram, 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 Ram. Am I masculine yet? Try it with me, just for fun. Okay, here we go. Ram, 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 Ram. Okay. And the counterpart to Ram is Sita. And we were going, Sita, 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 Sita. Ram, 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 Ram. Sita, 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 Sita. As crazy as that is, we embody these things, and we can practice embodying them all the time. And let's take a look at other goddesses and see how they might feel in our bodies and in our bones. Let us get in tune with our imagination that resonates with goddesses and understanding the divine feminine. Let's start with Kuan Yin, one of my favorites. I don't know if you can tell, but that statue is huge. Like a person would not even make it to the feet. Yeah. I consider Kuan Yin to be the transgender goddess because this most beloved East Asian bodhisattva of compassion evolved from the Tibetan god, the bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, the male deity who transformed as he traveled east into a female deity. Isn't that interesting? She is known as she who hears the cries of the world. She is the divine mother and protector. Do you see that she has a jar that she is pouring out? She is pouring out a balm of love and care onto the earth, onto everyone on the earth, an endless supply of healing. So I wonder if you can connect with your Kuan Yin qualities within yourself. Maybe close your eyes for a moment. The divine mother and protector, she who hears the cries of the world. I know your heart has been breaking, as has mine. This is Kuan Yin, hearing the cries of the world, being in heartbreak, the goddess of compassion, the bodhisattva of compassion. You have this within you as well, and you too pour out pure water of healing. And moving on, see, I told you you had the goddess within you. I know it. You just connected. I know you did. Okay, so in this next slide, we have from the Navajo or Dene tradition, the spider woman who discovers her gifts to weave beautiful webs that create the universe. She lives on top of Spider Rock in Canyon de Chelly. How many of you have seen that rock? Yeah, I figured. The holy ones taught her and Spider-Man how to use a loom and to sing the songs as they create with it. The upper beam of the loom was made from the sky. The lower beam was made from the earth. These beams would support the weaving, and the warp strings were made of sun rays to serve as the weft, and the heddle from the crystal and lightning to preserve the fibers. The comb was made of the white shell to clean the strands as it combs, and the batten was made from a sun halo to seal the weaving. Spider-Woman teaches the tribe how to spin and dye wool and to weave it into beautiful patterns to keep them warm in the winter. She is their protector. Can you connect with the Spider-Woman qualities within you? How are they a part of your life? How do you want them to be a part of your life? This weaving, this creating. Can you connect with Spider-Woman? The great-grandmother spider. And as you might imagine, we could go on and on. So many goddesses, so little time. So for a little twist, Joseph Campbell scholar John Buchner writes about the Star Wars character Maz Kanata, who has overseen a lakeside castle, a raucous crossroads for smugglers and seekers, rogues and royalty alike. He writes, she's not a Jedi, but she's keenly attuned to the Force. And although she stands just over 3 feet tall, her presence looms large. Any of you recognize her? One of Ma's most striking features is her oversized goggles, always perched atop her orange face. And these lenses allow her to see beyond surfaces into the truth of those around her. It's a powerful metaphor with a deep history. Joseph Campbell noted the significance of feminine figures with exaggerated eyes, suggesting that ancient eye goddesses represent a shift from deities of fertility to those who guide spiritual growth. She's not all about being sexy, is she? That's another way our culture has distorted the feminine. It's not all about alluring men and being sexy. Maz's role, instead, is not to give birth to the next hero, but her calling is to see deep within those that stand before her and speak the words they need to hear, pointing lost souls towards their true destiny. Han Solo knows this when he brings fellow rebels Rey and Finn to meet Maz, seeking wisdom for an impossible quest. So my friends, I know I have experienced from many of you that you too see deep within and speak words to people that they need to hear, pointing lost souls to their true destiny. Can you take a moment and connect with that part of yourself as an expression of a goddess, as an expression of who you are, another facet of your goddess brilliance? And what are we talking here about? These are all archetypes that we do embody. Seeing them as goddesses is a way of understanding and working with the archetypes. So I encourage you to get to know yourself a little better by embodying these characteristics. Not every goddess is. Some are Kali. I tried to get a picture of Kali without her holding someone's head that she just chopped off. I could not find it, so I was like, no, I'm not including that one. Or Durga riding on her tiger, ready to pounce. And so many other fierce, I don't know, I think this goose was a goddess coming out. And as I mentioned, all parents do a lot of mothering, and they do a lot of fathering, no matter their gender. Elders sometimes wear big glasses and can be seen to see through deeper issues, often have wisdom that is profound. And yet this archetype can arise with anyone at any age, sometimes our children, right? As they speak truth, as Everett did to Katrina. But the goddess, the divine feminine, is calling on us to not give up and to resist going back. I'm not willing to go back. Anybody here? Yeah, I didn't think so. No way. Not happening. Not to stifle that part of ourselves that makes us whole. Our intuition, nurturing, receptivity, compassion, creativity, sensuality, and connection to the earth, deep wisdom, fierce protection of life. The old patriarchal ways are dying, even though they are having their last gasp. That's how I'm looking at it. To hold on, we need the flowering of the divine feminine within ourselves and within our world now more than ever. Which brings me to Beethoven. Yeah, right. Non sequitur. The last movement of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony is called Ode to Joy. It includes a choir singing the lyrics from a poem written by Friedrich Schiller. This poem is a celebration of the goddess. Did you know that? It's pagan as it can be. It's a celebration of the goddess of joy, the daughter of Elysium. Let us join Beethoven in celebrating this goddess with song using the English translation. I'm not going to make you sing German today. The English translation of the original lyrics. Thank you. May it be so. Let's rise. That was a nice surprise for you all. I invite you to reach out and connect with those around you in whatever way is comfortable for you. And if you do not wish to hold hands or put your arms around, feel free to just put your hand out. Okay. So, my dear friends, dear goddesses, you are each divine, and we celebrate you. Now, in case you're a man and you think I'm not talking to you, let me try this again. Now, you put yourself in that position, because this is you too. And so, dear goddesses, no matter your gender, You are each divine, and we celebrate you, one and all, for the beautiful traits you embody that bless this world. We celebrate your wisdom. We celebrate your love and compassion for the world. We celebrate your fierce determination. And we know life is a struggle for all, even goddesses. So remember, you are held always with love. Keep blessing this world with your brilliance and your amazing love. May it be so. Amen. That was a great story. Okay, thank you. Hey, you know, I know it.